This is Smarter San Diego TV.
You know, millennials and baby boomers alike, they want to be in urban environments right now.
Thank God for the Electoral College vote.
In a 4-hour breakfast, we raised $9,000. So that's something that we take pretty seriously.
And you can't diet your way into being lean and fit. They go together.
In New York City, deciding what's best for the rest of the freaking country.
This is not a market built on a stack of cards. It's a solid foundation.
0%. That is a thumbs up.
Everyone has a life worth telling a story about. And the more adversity that you faced, the deeper your story.
Well, am I going to be okay in it? Like, am I going to be able to walk?
There's just so much creativity in this town that it's hard to hide it.
Well, you have these beliefs, well, what do you do with it?
Realtors love using ranges when pricing their listings, except for our next guest. Please welcome real estate executive, Bryan Garrity.
All right, Big Daddy, back in the house. What's up, my man?
Hey, everything good.
Everything's good. Well, big announcement. Of course, today we're going to talk about why you should never use a price range when selling your home in San Diego. But first, big announcement. Big Daddy Radio, which was on the air for years.
Yeah, that's true.
But you've taken a sabbatical from. Coming back.
It is.
June 1st.
Is. Yeah, it's going to be good, and it's coming back in a new format, which we're going to. It's going to be really, that's going to be really powerful. It's going to be exciting.
Right from the page, Big Daddy Radio. You just do a search on Facebook, Big Daddy Radio.
Right.
And you can find it right there. Like the page if you want to check it out. But very popular show on the radio. I think on Facebook Live it's going to be even more so.
I hope so.
So I can't wait to.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited. I think I like bringing it to a live format. And we have the panel, and you know we don't hold back. I certainly don't hold back. So I'm sure we'll have our fair share of fun, which will be great. I'm glad. You'll have your left-leaning friend being Big Daddy Radio there. Have all kinds of stuff to say about 45. Yeah, tune in for sure. For sure, tune in.
All right, anytime you need a guest on the other side, you let me know.
That's right. I'll have you, for sure.
So price ranging is something, I'd never seen this. Honestly, in Missouri, where I'm from, before I came here about 13 years ago, but I'd never heard of it. They don't do it, at least in Columbia, Missouri, where I'm from, that real estate market. They don't do price ranges. Right. Never heard of it before. So I came here and I saw houses listed for $499 to $549 and stuff like that.
Perfect example. Stay with that one. Keep going.
And I thought, the hell does that even mean?
Yeah.
So I know you're against this. So let's start off. Is there any reason why someone would do this?
Of course.
Or why do agents think it's a good thing?
So it's because it's for the agent. So especially when, now there's two sets of logic, but you're normally going to see a price range like what you just described, $499 to $549. To me, that's just, do you not know how to price a property? Can you not look at the comps? Can you not commit to a price? That's one thing. That's really not the reason though that the agents do it. I think, well, for someone maybe, for someone that's being like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Maybe. But I'm talking about someone that actually has a strategy involved. The reason that they price range, especially like the $499, $599, $699, $799, they have no intention of accepting a $499 offer, especially like a $499 to a $549. No chance, no way. But on every search engine that's out there, the realtors, the Zillows, whatever, that are out there, when you're searching, you know how they do the price drop down, like $550 to $599.99,
yeah.
$600. Well, it's designed so that people that see those listings, especially those featured like that, $649 to $759, $849 to $999, in those kind of ranges, it's to catch all those buyers that had it been priced at, like, let's say $875 instead of $849 to $875, they won't lose out on that pool of buyers who are saying $850 is my max. That $875 house may not be for that individual at all ever, and $849 may be somebody's true max. But if that was priced at just $875, you wouldn't find it on a search.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to catch the buyer who's trying to limit themselves to a lower price, but could maybe afford a higher price if they found the right house.
So if they're at that price, maybe that house doesn't work out, maybe, and then now they have a buyer that's not represented that they'll tag, and start to represent that buyer to find something in the same or surrounding areas in the same price point. I don't like it. It's like the open house factor. It is. They're designed for agents. I'm not saying that no houses sell at an open house, but remember, 2% nationally. I will go off on that continuously. Although that open house segment we did, there were so many agents that were like, right on, that's totally right. Just say it then. Say it. I mean, I'll say it. You know, I don't have a problem with it. Wait till Big Daddy Ray. Plenty to say. But because we're here doing this, the value range to me signals a couple things. Somebody's paying you good money to sell their house. That's number one. So if you come to the table and you can't tell them your house is worth X, in my opinion, based on Y, what are they hiring you for? Yeah, there's plenty of other things you need to be doing. But if you can't price the house right, that's a problem. Any monkey could look at comparables. That's fine. In this market, it's like the Wild West. You cannot just look at the comparables and decide XYZ is the price. You've got to factor in maybe something hasn't sold in that area for the last 6 months or a year. What kind of appreciation has there been? This house is the best house on the block. This house is the worst house on the block. Anyway, you take
You think going with a solid number is better?
Yes, absolutely.
Tell us why you think that is
I think that it signifies you know what you're doing, and I think it signifies to the buying public, 875 is the number we want. We're on a range from 499 to 549. Where do you think the average buyer is going to want to ride at? Not 549, unless they've been burned a couple of times and then they're desperate, then they see the range and then they want to ride over the range. So it's a weird phenomenon that's going on right now with the lack of inventory. But
I just wonder if that buyer, though, if they're willing to ride over the range, they would probably be willing to ride over the straight price, you know,
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why if you price it right, price it with some thought behind it, it's going to sell. It's going to sell. Maybe it won't fly off the first weekend. Maybe it'll be 5 days. Woo, 5 days. But you're going to get top dollar. I'm telling you. If you commit to the price, you have an agent that knows what they're doing, show the backup, throw the number on there. Don't put a range. A range is so wishy-washy. It's kind of like, I don't know. Maybe, maybe 830. Well, I don't know. Maybe 820. I don't know. That's what that signals to me, that kind of behavior. So you're a professional. You're being paid a good commission. The sellers are relying on you for your advice into what their house should sell for. Not a range. Not like, oh, I think it's 700, maybe 750. Let's range it and see. It's like, this isn't let's wait and see. They're hiring you as the expert. You should be able to put a number on it. You shouldn't have to worry about that stuff. So that's one thing about selling your home that it drives me nuts. The ranges drive me nuts. I know that a lot of the reason the ranges are done is to try and secure additional leads for people that would be lost in the search categories on all these web portals.
I know it does make the homeowners nervous.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that.
It does. It causes a lot of anxiety. Yeah. It really causes a lot of anxiety because at that point, we're already in the Wild West market. We are, period. It's totally like the Wild West. You're out there. Inventory is low, like 13,423 homes, something like that. So you're out there. You're desperate. Your clients want to be in Claremont. Nothing in Claremont is cheaper than, decent. They're all in the 600,000-700,000. Well, when you start price ranging everything, you start sending all these mixed messages to people. Like, well, no, that house is really 650. No, the range is 650 to 700. They have no intention of accepting a 650 offer. So it screws with the buyers. It does. It sends the wrong message. So when you're trying to advise properly and trying to get a number on it, to me, with the range, it just makes it more complicated. Not for the agent. Not more complicated for me. I'll still tell them where the number should be. But as the buyer looking online, doing their research, it becomes confusing. That's
definitely true. Now, one thing you've done for sure on Win This Listing and in your own practice is you've been able to get much more money for these homes than any of the other agents on the show thought, that I had thought, especially the last one, way more. How are you doing that? I mean, like, what is that? Because obviously it's not just pricing strategy. There's something beyond that as well.
No, but
you always say it just takes one.
There's a lot. There is. You do have to look at globally. Right now we're in the Wild West here anyway, so even in El Cajon you can get, and there's nothing wrong with El Cajon. I'm just saying that would be an area that people would gravitate, never thinking they're going to see a $700,000 property. Doesn't really matter. What a range is nonsense. It's nonsensical. It's like I was saying, it's like just juggling apples up in the air. Like, oh, maybe your house is worth $720 today. Oh, maybe it's worth $760 tomorrow. Oh, maybe it's $7. I mean, what kind of agent would do that? I mean, if somebody was sitting across from me and I was selling my house and they were telling me that, I'd throw their ass out. Totally, I would. Sorry, I'd be like, bye, see ya. I would want to know. Put a number on it. Hang to the number. Stop reading the nonsense online. No, your house is not going stale in 15 days and falling off the mountain. That's crap. Now, if it's on for 6 months, maybe. I think if you get a seller that understands, like if you hang in there just a little bit, you will get the right buyer. It takes one buyer. One unique buyer, one seller, in perfect harmony, we hope. Usually it is, though. But you'll usually get the better buyer if you do that. Put the number on it. Stick to the number. Don't price reduce after 3 days. Have some cojones. Do it. Represent your seller the way the seller should be represented. Don't back down. Don't. This is the number. If your clients want it, come up. Oh, is there going to be multiples? I don't know. Write an offer and we'll let you know. That's another thing that's nonsense in this market. We could go off on it, or multiples. I wrote an offer on one that was on market 72 days, no price reduction, no anything. As soon as they got our offer, oh, we have 4 offers now. Really? In 72 days you've had nothing and now you have this? It must have been that price range that you had. Exactly. So it's a lot about strategy and a lot about like sticking to your stuff and having no nonsense. That's why I'm so hardcore too about having a relationship with the clients, because when you do have a relationship with the clients, you're always going to be more successful. You just are. I don't want to, you know what? I don't even want to work with someone that if I'm not connecting, bye, and they can say goodbye to me too. That's fine. No love lost. I really think you need to have that connection. When you do, everybody's on the same page. There's something magical about it. It just props up that value. Nobody's panicking. If it took 14 days and they got what they wanted or more, trust me, they're going to be a heck of a lot happier than if it took 7 days and they got $20,000 less.
That's definitely 100% true. And I've seen you do this multiple times myself. It can be done.
It can, for sure.
Big Daddy gets it done, for sure. And let's make sure that everyone checks out Big Daddy Radio on Facebook.
For sure, it's going to be fun.
Like the page, subscribe, get the notifications for the first episode, which will be on June 1st. Big Daddy, thank you so much for coming in today. Man. Really appreciate your time. Fantastic stuff. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.
Hey guys, welcome to the Minute with the Mortgage Geek. I'm Sean Cahan, president of Cornerstone Mortgage Group, and today's topic is going to be the 12-month bank statement program. But first, check out this market update. So, the 12-month bank statement program was designed for the self-employed borrowers who all say, I cannot get financing. Well, you can, because all we use is the 12-month bank statement program to prove income. No tax returns, no pay stubs, no transcripts, just bank statements. So how do you qualify? All self-employed borrowers need is 12 months of personal bank statements. We verify deposits only from self-employment or from corporate bank accounts. They do not need to be reoccurring, they can be bulk deposits. So what are the loan to values? The loan to values are a 760 will get you to 95% with no mortgage insurance. A 720 will get you to 80% loan to value, and with a 680, that will only get you to 75%. Now, here's the other thing, is that we offer an interest-only product, 5-1, 7-1, and a 30-year fixed, interest-only up to 80% loan to value. Isn't that crazy? Now, Sean, wasn't that informational? Uh-huh. For more information, contact me at the information below. Did you guys put it on the screen? Did you guys put it on? Is it there? And follow me on Facebook.
And now it's time for the Real Estate Debate, where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate. Please welcome our panelists. Guest number 1, Jason Cassity with I Sell the City. Guest number 2, Erica Bocian with Rising Realty. Guest number 3, Mike Litton, Keller Williams Escondido. And guest number 4, Melissa Sofia with the Avenue Home Collective.
All right, we are live. It's time to debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate with 4 amazing real estate agents in the studio today. Our topics will be Zillow's Coming Soon feature, whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing for the industry and for consumers, and of course 1031 exchanges on the chopping block, as they always are every year. Congress is talking about 1031 exchanges, whether they will go away or not, and if they did, would that make real estate not as good of an investment? Let's meet today's panelists. We'll start from left to right. Erica Bocian is here from Rising Realty. Erica, how you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
You're a multi-time debater with us here, so we appreciate your time. Of course, Jason Cassity is here. He's back. This is back-to-back debates.
Back-to-back debates. Say that back-to-back.
So you're a known Zillow advocate.
I am.
So this is a big day for you today.
It's like a label I wear on a necklace.
You're brave.
Thanks for coming back, my friend. Appreciate you. Melissa Sofia is here from the Avenue Home Collective.
What's up?
What's up? Melissa Sofia in the house, also Win This Listing participant. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Participant on the reality show Win This Listing. And my man, Mike Litton.
How are you, bud?
From Keller Williams Escondido. Thank you for being here, my friend.
My pleasure.
Okay, so Jason, we're going to go to you first. Our topic number 1, Zillow's Coming Soon features not only sidestepping the MLS, but it's also encouraging greedy agents to try and double in deals without providing market time for their listings. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree. I mean, it is in essence a little bit sidestepping the MLS, but it's pre-MLS. And so I'm a big advocate of having a strong pre-sale strategy, and that includes Zillow's Coming Soon feature. I mean, the easiest kind of analogy is movies don't come out to the theater without having a trailer first, right? It's kind of just a natural progression of things. In the same vein, I won't say it's not right for every situation. There's some times where you need to get the property on the market fast for certain reasons, but if you're going to try to list for top dollar and you need a strong pre-marketing strategy, pre-sale strategy, Zillow's Coming Soon is a great way to drum up some interest in that. Now, of course, there's going to be, there's agents who use it scrupulously, I guess is the word. I don't know. I did spell check.
Because someone looked that up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, you have to eat the hay and spit out the sticks, right? Just, you can't, I don't know, I mean, unemployment and welfare, wherever you stand on that, you can't throw the whole program out because 5%, there's fraudulent 5% of it, right? You have to look at the whole program as a whole. I think Zillow's Coming Soon is good as a whole because it's drawing attention to a property, especially in low inventory and things like that. Maybe the property needs a little bit of time to get spruced up before it goes on the MLS, and you can draw some attention to it pre-MLS. It's a good thing to me. I've always been an advocate of more consumer information.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that pre-marketing is absolutely a necessity. I think that if you're going to, especially in a market like this, if you're going to garner excitement and gather as many multiple offers as you can, definitely. But I think that the 5% you're talking about that are using it scrupulously.
Yeah. The word of the day. Hashtag
word
scrupulous.
Will someone spell that for us?
Yeah. Can we be corrected? I know that it's a lot more than that, and I think that's where your question comes from, the greedy agents, are they coming out of the woodwork because of this feature? Absolutely. I see all of the time, I have gotten calls from clients who say, hey, I saw this on Coming Soon, and this agent says that I have to buy it directly with them because it's not yet on the market. There are a ton of agents out there in this market right now who are telling buyers that they can't buy the home unless it's through them because it's not yet on the MLS. And it's unfortunate because we can sit here and say, hey, we estimate for you to sell your home for this much, and we can bring them that offer. But is that truly the best offer that we can get for our clients? They will never know, and we will never know until it actually hits the open market. And so I personally pre-market. I absolutely put it out there before it hits the MLS, but I also allow my listings to hit the open market. And if my buyers have to go up against other offers, then let that be the case, because I want to make sure that I'm always working in the best interest of both of my clients at all times.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing I think is the big argument against it, is that you see Coming Soon, listings that have all photos and videos. It's like, this is ready for the MLS. I mean, come on. I think that's the big knock on the Coming Soon, is it's not being used as Coming Soon, it's being used for agents to double in. Mike, what do you say on this one?
It's being used in the wrong way, but the industry uses things in the wrong way all the time. I don't know anything about eating hay and spitting out sticks. I don't know anything about that. But what I will say is, you know, it's a pre-marketing strategy. But here's the thing. In a market like this, with pre-marketing like that, you know, using Coming Soon on Zillow, you're going to get offers, and your clients are going to look at you and say, I don't want to be on the market. I don't want to go any further. That's an offer I want. I'm going to take it. We work for them. Now, do we counsel them? Absolutely. We're constant. The last time you and I talked, we were counseling our sellers on what's happening currently in the marketplace. But it's up to the seller. It's up to them as to what they want to do. And some of them, quite honestly, don't want to show their houses. So they want to use Coming Soon, and they want to use pre-marketing, and they want us to do the things we do, and they want to take advantage of this market. I think it's a disservice to a client, and I tell them that every single time. If they decide that they want to buy it, if they decide they want to sell a property Coming Soon on, you know, off of a Coming Soon deal, but it's up to them. You know, it's their choice.
See, but it's great that you say, you know, you're saying it's a disservice because.
Oh, I absolutely.
Yeah. So as long as, but not everyone's doing that. It's integrity, and there are a lot of agents who lack integrity.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's scary about our industry, is everybody's in real estate now, right? And it happens when the market gets hot, everybody gets in, right? You remember a few years ago, you and I have been friends for a long time. We've talked for a long time. We've been on shows together for a long time, and there was a time when houses weren't selling. Yeah. And there was a time when you couldn't find a realtor. So I think what's important about this is that as long as we maintain our focus where it should be, which is the client, and taking the best care of our client we possibly can, and doing the best we can for them, the rest of it takes care of itself. Zillow or no Zillow.
Very good point. Erica?
Amen to you, sister. I agree with everything that you just said about the Coming Soon feature, and I also agree with you also about how it is up to the client. You can present offers to them before it comes on the market, and it's up to them whether or not they want to take those offers or they want to go on the market. And I feel like, yes, you should go on the market because you never know what kind of offers you're going to get, and those offers that you get pre-market, you don't know what's going to happen with those buyers, and they just might be trying to get a deal and in before because it's this perception of it's off market, and then you never know what's going to happen. To me, there's no difference really in this Coming Soon feature than putting a sign in the yard before your house goes on the market and doing a Coming Soon mailer and targeting that neighborhood with your pre-marketing campaign. Sure. That's essentially the same thing as what Zillow's doing, except they're reaching a ton more people because it's Zillow and it's online. So I'm all for your pre-marketing strategy and plan, but I feel like it's you put yourself and your client in a situation where you have those agents that, well, your clients will get the property if they write the offer with me. And then what do you do to your client? Your client wants to get the property. That's what you do. We are in the business of helping our clients buy homes that they want. How am I helping a client if I say, well, you can't buy the house if I represent you?
How do you stop that? I mean, that's what really
I can't stand that.
That has to be stopped.
I can't stand that. That is so unethical. And I was just in a situation 2 weeks ago where I was in a multiple offer situation and I had to cross-qual my buyer with a lender, and they said, well, you'll have a really better chance of getting your offer accepted if you work with our lender. And that lender couldn't even beat the rates and program that my current lender was offering.
Yep, and that was something we actually debated. I believe it was
it was the second half of our last debate.
Second half of the last debate was the cross quals, and that's exactly the problem. So you start, and when the market gets good, all these things start popping up. Everybody starts getting really greedy, which is one of the reasons why I think we're at the
right.
But you know, it's just it happens every time. You start to see every stage of the process people being more and more greedy.
Here's the thing, though. This is just the nature of the game, and people who have been in it for a long time, we know it's always been like this. Before internet. You know, it's always been like this. There have always been these agents that are just out to kind of screw everybody over. I think that the most important thing as us being agents is to make sure that we're always educating our clients, and they can know and trust that we have their back. And, you know, just being the best agent you can be is really, you know, the best service that we can provide.
But she makes a good point. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you know, like in that situation, what do you tell the client?
But is it Zillow's fault? So because you said, right, you put the sign in the yard and you can pre-mail and things like that. So it sounds like you're for pre-marketing, but Zillow's Coming Soon is just a better feature of pre-marketing. It's not Zillow's fault that there's shady agents out there abusing the system. I mean, even without Coming Soon, agents who owned their home who listed it for sale on Zillow just to collect the buyer leads. You know, they had no intention of selling the homes. They put it up for sale on Zillow, and then they would say, oh, it's actually not for sale, but hey, if you're looking for a home, right? Or it's agents who call for sale by owners and pretend to have clients, and then they go in the house and then they try to. There's shadiness all around. I don't think you can blame Zillow's coming soon feature for that.
I mean,
I don't remember blaming Zillow.
No, exactly right. I hear they're coming soon.
I haven't blamed them the whole time.
They have
it's not about them. It's about how it's used.
Correct.
Zillow's a tool.
Correct.
It's that simple.
100%.
So it's just like anything else. You go get in your car's a tool.
Yep.
You have a cell phone. Your cell phone's a tool. Right? You're going to use it or abuse it, use it correctly, not use it correctly, use it legally, not use it legally, use it ethically, not use it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
is the coming soon feature good for consumers? That's where we come back to. I think yes.
It depends upon who's using it.
It's perception. It's the people that are out there on Zillow. First of all, half the information on Zillow, it's not even accurate. How many times do you get calls for buyers and they're like, oh, I'm looking at this property. It's a $300,000 house in Fletcher Hills. Yeah, right. That sold in like 1992. Sorry.
Well, there are a lot of issues with with inaccuracies with Zillow, and they're actually doing a lot of things to change that right now. But I think that the issue is along with a lot of things that are going on today, it's all in the hands of the consumer and making sure that we as consumers and as a society, we're educated. Because one of the things that consumers don't, I think, realize about Zillow is that they are a money-making business. And they are all about making money from real estate agents. Correct. That is where their money comes from. So, obviously, they're going to go and say, we are very consumer focused and we are here to service the consumer. But they have to understand that there's another side to that coin. There are agents who are paying thousands and thousands of dollars. There's thousands and thousands of agents paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month. And, so what is driving Zillow? Consumers have to remember that. I mean, like for instance, not all homes are on Zillow. Listing feeds. Right. There are a lot of brokers and a lot of agents who right now don't even know that there was a switch made and their houses aren't even on Zillow right
100%.
now. So when consumers are thinking,
there are some that have opted out too.
Yeah.
And actually, Sandicor was one of like the biggest holdouts in the nation.
They're like the last ones.
Yep. They were the last ones to sign up because they were like, "Screw you."
Exactly.
Yeah, Sandicor actually argued with me on the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
When I signed the RETS agreement.
They're like, "Don't do it, Mike."
Yeah, they literally argued with me on the phone.
100%.
They said, "Oh no, you don't need this. We've got our own setup. We're going to automatically feed." And I said, "No, you have to opt in."
Correct.
So send it.
It took them a long time.
If you don't send it, I will.
But consumers don't realize, they think that all the houses on the market are on Zillow, and that's something that they need to be aware of too. We are still the #1 source for homes. As
Zillow's
agents.
not completely innocent in this situation.
They're not.
Okay, you can't pretend they are. And I'll give you one specific example. There was a for sale by owner that I wanted to check out. It said contact the owner, so I put in my information. They're sending it to the owner. All of a sudden, I have real estate agents calling me.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some sort of accountability with them on what they're showing people and what the reality is. I think that's where the issue is. Now, the coming soon feature, what we're actually talking about here on this particular situation.
I'm not threatened by it. I'm not threatened by it. I'm not threatened by it. It's the same It's the same pre-marketing that you're doing by putting a sign in the yard and dropping a mailer and door knocking a neighborhood to let all the neighbors know I'm having a listing. It's coming soon.
Right.
It's next week. No big deal. I'm not threatened. Business is not going to stop because of this coming soon feature on Zillow. I'm not afraid.
We can run our own ads online. We can run our own social media marketing. We can spend the dollars in different ways if we so choose.
There are pluses and minuses to everything.
Correct.
Absolutely everything. Again, it's a tool, and some people use it, some people abuse it.
Yep.
Just like guns,
the abusers.
alcohol, whatever. It's
just like anything.
It's a tool, but I think there needs to be some sort. Maybe it's not Zillow's responsibility. Maybe it's the association's responsibility. Maybe it's CAR. Maybe it's NAR. I don't know, but someone needs to get in there. Okay, let's jump to the second topic here before we run too far on this.
That's what we came up with.
No, not that they're blameless. I mean, they came up with something good, but I don't know that they can.
They came up with a better yard sign.
I don't think that they did, and I don't think that they can really regulate the shadiness. I mean, I think they
can't regulate what agents are saying.
They're advertising for them. It's not their job to regulate.
They can't regulate the shadiness. There's no way for them to do it. Exactly. They don't have the power.
People will always find a way. I mean, that's what we've named 4 different ways that us insiders know about the fake for sale by owners, and shady agents will always find a way.
Yeah.
So that 5% But that's how you go back. Can't
let's-
throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't eat the hay without the stick. I don't know. There's always an analogy, right?
Eat the hay and spit out the sticks or something.
I'm just gonna
I've never heard that before. It's like I've never eaten any hay, nor spit out sticks.
Or throw out babies in bathwater.
All right, let's try to get into 1031 exchanges. So 1031 exchanges seem to be on the chopping block. In fact, I had a buddy of mine who's an insider who's actually been in Washington.
Really?
Talking, yeah, he's a high level guy on the 1031 side, and he didn't tell me specifically what was taking place and what the discussions were about, but he said there could be something really big changing soon. And so, and he said, and you know, you're going to want to know what this is before you find a 1031 exchange, or before you encourage anyone to do a 1031 exchange.
From this point forward?
Yeah. So, yeah, I posted on Facebook. Maybe some of you saw it. Hey, who has a 1031 exchange guy? And it was him who said, hey, hold off on whatever it is you're doing. So it could be that they're modifying it into something else. He told me about a few different things that are possibilities. But the topic is, with 1031 exchanges on the chopping block, as they always are, would the loss of 1031 exchanges make investing in real estate less desirable and therefore cause potentially prices to even come down some? Okay, Erica.
Yes, absolutely. Real estate is another tool. People invest in the stock market. People invest in real estate. Real estate is, I'm not going to say a safe investment, but it's a way to avoid paying massive taxes and moving your way up as you get older in life, reinvesting your money, selling one property, buying a condo and keeping it as a rental, getting a house, buying multi-units, buying apartments, and just having those cash flow. And it's a way to defer your money each year, so you're not paying taxes on it instead of
capital gains.
Yes, on investment properties. That's what. Yeah.
And you can depreciate. Yeah, there's a couple different things. Yeah. There's tax advantages.
Tax advantages, exactly, and it makes it an attractive market for people to invest who don't want to invest or who want to diversify their portfolio. Have some investments in stocks, some investments in real estate. You got to keep it diverse.
Okay, so you think the loss of that would be detrimental. Jason, what do you think?
I think it would make for a very profitable rest of the year for a bunch of real estate agents, and because everybody would be trying to do it before the new tax law kicks in, and then it would probably slow down a lot of investment sales that would have rather otherwise happened. Obviously, a lot of your ancillary services, your real estate agents, lawyers, title, things like that, who kind of are involved in a real estate transaction. If a bunch of real estate transactions disappear from the market, that could affect, that kind of reciprocal effect all the way down the chain. Could see that, but I think after a certain point there would be a new norm, and so I don't know that. I think there would be a big spike in 1031s, and there'd be kind of a level off, and there'd probably be a new norm. I don't necessarily. I mean, again, the demographic watching the show, I don't know. Your mom and pop buying their $500,000 starter home is probably not going to affect them a whole heck of a lot right out of the gate. But your higher end earners and your commercial, homeowner or commercial business owners and whatnot, it's really going to affect that high end of the market, at least for the first probably 3 to 5 years until they find a new norm.
I actually, the head of research at CBRE, he actually said that, this is going to really change the, 1031 tax exchange. So they are, I don't know, hopefully they don't. I'm actually against this, but if they do eliminate the 1031 tax exchange, it's going to be coupled with other reforms, and then it's going to, end up being a different kind of tax write-off. But here's the problem: it's going to be for businesses. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be who this 1031 tax exchange elimination is going to affect is the mom and pop investor, the people, 2-3 homes, and they bought a condo in Long Beach while their son was in college, and then now he's moved back down to San Diego and he wants to, get a condo down here. That's who that's going to affect. It's unfortunate to see this, if this happens, if this administration is doing this, because, I thought that they were, really in it to help the middle class and, stimulate the economy, and I do think that this would, put a damper on our economy and our, like you said, our real estate market. It will take out, some of the incentives for these small-time investors. It's, the majority of 1031 tax exchanges, they're, under $1 million, and it's, those are the people who are taking advantage of the situation. And actually, California, well, the whole West Coast, we do 80% of the 1031 tax exchanges across the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For good reason.
Yeah, for good reason, because we have the values.
You ever had an asset that somebody made an offer to you on in the state of California?
Yeah.
I called my CPA. I had a big offer made on one of my assets. Called my CPA. I said, if I sell it, what's it going to cost me? 47%.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why
seriously. It was over $1 million offer.
So as Californians,
it would have been $470,000 on $1 million offer that I would have paid in taxes.
It's crazy.
So do you think I sold it?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
And that's my concern with this thing.
Well, but here's the thing.
Sell.
If it's going to businesses, how long does it take mom and pop to turn into a business?
Right.
3 minutes on the internet?
Correct.
Come on.
That's, yeah.
It's not, I mean, the 1031 tax deferred exchange, if it goes away altogether, is going to have a major impact. But if all they're doing is changing it from individuals to businesses, most of these people that are individuals are operating under a business deal anyway.
100%.
They formed an LLC and they own it through the LLC.
Investors,
In fact, it's recommended. A lot of attorneys recommend that you own rental real estate under an LLC.
Tax liability.
So I mean, and legal liability too. So I think this is a tempest in a teapot. I don't think this is that big a deal. And they'll just incorporate, or they'll become an LLC in 3 minutes, and they'll be done with it.
I think it all depends on what the regulations actually turn into. You know, are they going to completely eliminate it? Is it going to really screw over everybody, or is it going to turn into something that's actually a viable option? You know, where these small-time investors and those people that are taking advantage of this can actually still use it in some sort of way.
There's something else to think about too, and I know we haven't talked about this, and I know that every time we sit down and do these, I always get into this big, broader global picture, and I know it drives you nuts.
Saving the world's problems.
But here's the thing. Yeah, we're solving all the world's problems, right? Here's the thing. There is a major thing happening right now. There's a major trend happening in the United States. You have pension funds that are bankrupting municipalities. You have retirement funds that are bankrupting retirement funds. You have, I mean, literally, people are being paid too much in the way of retirement funds now in terms of their distributions. And it's bankrupting a lot of these systems, like the National Education Association, the teachers union, that kind of thing. Their retirement systems are going belly up. And these municipalities are going belly up because the pensions are too high that they're paying out. What's going to happen here, I think, is you're going to see more and more municipal bankruptcies. You're going to see more and more of these pension funds go belly up and go upside down. That's what happened in the auto industry. Mm-hmm. The auto industry, when they had a slowdown, they went bankrupt because they couldn't pay the pensions. They couldn't pay the UAW pensions. Nobody talks about this stuff. Here's the thing. The same thing, the same kind of stress is on Social Security now. Mm-hmm. We're not going to have the same kind of Social Security that our parents had. It's not going to happen. There isn't enough money there. There's too much in the way of unfunded mandates to even begin to get anywhere near it. So I believe that rental real estate is going to become the next hot thing because people like us are going to be buying it so that we have something called passive income. We're going to need it if we're going to ever retire. I mean, you and I are going to work till we're 100, but you understand what I'm saying.
No, I agree.
I'm doing real estate for fun when I'm 100.
But do you see what I'm saying?
I agree with you 100%.
I mean,
this is how people are going to retire.
This whole thing is getting ready to completely change. Yep. And I believe that what's going to happen is there's going to be a paradigm shift. The book I'm writing is about that. There's going to be a paradigm shift in this country that's going to be forced. It's going to be out of necessity. And every time you've ever had a paradigm shift in this country, like maybe the last election, it came from necessity, right? Same thing. You're going to have a paradigm shift, I believe, that's going to happen in the next few years, and it's going to be out of necessity. And the 1031 tax deferred stuff is not going to be as important because they're never going to get rid of their rental real estate anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing you have is you have baby boomers right now that are trying to bequeath their rental real estate to their millennial grandkids, and their millennial grandkids don't want it. They don't want it because they don't trust real estate. That's going to be another paradigm shift. Eventually, they're going to come to where they embrace it, because look at what's getting ready to happen. When those millennials were teenagers, they watched their friends, their family, their friends, their family's coworkers, that kind of thing, watched them lose their houses. They don't trust real estate. They're going to need it more than any of us.
We're literally trying to change that.
They're going to need it more than any of us.
You know, and a lot of researchers say that, but then what's happening is actually more millennials are investing right now than people think. And they said that we weren't going to do it, but we are. And I agree with you. I think that out of necessity, we're going to have to build our own retirement. I think we're going to have to make a life for ourselves, you know, beyond depending on Social Security.
So the paradigm's already shifting.
Yeah, no, Social Security is not
You
going
heard
to
it
be
here
there.
first.
Yeah, Social Security is
right
not
here.
going to be there for us. Like, if anyone thinks that it will be, you need to have something else lined up. You need to have other investments.
But that's why 1031s are important, though, because you need to be able to have the opportunity to upgrade your assets. You know, and if we have to buy and hold the same old asset that we couldn't get rid of, how are we going to build that for ourselves? So
take out stock at Home Depot and Lowe's.
It changes the game. You have to then start saving for the next property and not count on that property. So you have to just a paradigm shift in the way that you're looking at it.
It's a shift in
take
strategy.
place. The strategies would have to shift, and
but it is a blow to capitalism, and you know it's going to be a blow to people who are dealing with it right now.
It's well, the 1031 exchange in reality is like the best tax break that exists
It's a
on
great,
the
that's
whole
why.
thing. It's the best tax break.
Don't take it away from
I
the
know,
middle class.
but it is kind of like a gift.
It's
I don't
a
feel
straight gift.
It's a straight gift. So it's
but
not
like,
it's not an entitlement.
Don't we want to keep the gifts?
It's a nice gift.
It's not actually capitalism. Yeah,
it's not capitalism. It's
just
kind of not.
Says the millennial.
Deferring.
Says the millennial. So we're clear.
We want to upgrade our assets so that we can retire on these things.
No, the 1031, as far as I know, too, that's Trump's plan.
Didn't I just say that?
Doing away with the 1031 is his plan to fund his corporate tax rate of 15%, right? The money that would be lost there would come from the 1031. So now if he can't get his tax plan through, the 1031 would not be on the chopping block anymore. If that's as far as I understand is that.
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard right now.
I don't want to chicken little this whole thing and be like, your 1031's gone tomorrow, because that's not the case.
This whole thing's about reconciliation. He's trying to make it revenue neutral
Exactly.
so that he can get it done with 51 votes in the Senate.
They're just trying to make the numbers work. That's what they're trying to do. You know.
We shall see. Fantastic debate. Thank you all so much for coming today. Really appreciate your time. Of course, like the page, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff so you can get future debates and get smarter than everyone else. We'll see you then.
The veterans of our military services have put their lives on the line to protect all the freedoms in which we enjoy. So the least I can do is set the record straight about VA financing. Welcome back to A Minute with a Mortgage Geek. I'm Sean Cahan, president of Cornerstone Mortgage Group. Now check out the market update. One misconception is that most veterans think they cannot get financing because they've had a foreclosure or bankruptcy. VA financing only requires a 2-year wait period for a foreclosure or bankruptcy and a 1-year exception. 10-4. Another misconception is that VA financing takes too long to close. What? At Cornerstone Mortgage Group, we can close a VA loan in 21 days or less. I got your 6. Another misconception is that you need great credit to get a VA loan. The truth is, there is no credit score requirement. We can go as low as 500 credit score at Cornerstone Mortgage Group. America! I've been getting a lot of questions regarding VA loan limits. The number one misconception is that they only can go to a loan amount of $612,950. False. Land of the free? Home of the brave? McDonald's? Walmart? At Cornerstone Mortgage Group, we will allow up to a $4 million loan amount. Roger that. Let's check out the down payment equation. As a VA expert, call me if you have any questions. Trust fall. Over and out.
How can our next guest make you more money on your listing? Better listen up to the champ and owner of Story Estates, Elizabeth Story.
And she's back. The champ is here.
Hello.
What's up, Elizabeth Story? In the house. All right, great to have you here. 3D tours, virtual tours. You remember when virtual tours first came out and they weren't really virtual tours? They were just like picture collages and stuff like that.
A slow slide
A slow slide across the picture.
Yeah.
That was so lame.
It was.
And it gave virtual tours a bad rap. It actually took people a long time to realize that virtual tours now are not just pictures, and they're not just videos even. They're like 3D walkthrough tours, right? And you say these things can actually help you sell the home better.
Yes. So homes that have 3D tours can actually get up to anywhere from 400, 500, 600% more traffic than homes that don't have a 3D tour. So in today's technology-driven world, everybody's busy, you know, there's traffic to think about. If you can make it easier for people to visualize exactly what the home looks like, it's easier to get them in the door. And the more people that you get in the door, the more offers you get and the more money your house sells for. So it goes back to economics, is you want to drive traffic to your listing, and virtual tours are statistically proven to dramatically increase traffic online.
Can you see those in the MLS now? I know at least for a point that they didn't have a place for you to put those, but do they now?
Yeah, they're all automatically linked in the MLS now. You can link them on all the consumer sites, and people love them. People look for them. They actually go higher up in the feeds. And now Story Estates is one of the first companies in all of San Diego County to be offering Zillow certified options as well. We now have a Zillow certified photography service as well as a 3D tour service. And what that does, see, Story Estates has already always paid to feature our listings. So for example, I have a property that I listed about 2 weeks ago, and it went from not being online at all to #1 in traffic by as much as 3 to 4 times as many views within 24 hours because I'm featuring it. Now with this Zillow certified photography and tour mechanism, it stays on top until it's sold. So, I mean, it's just a huge win for sellers to get to drive more traffic and more buyers into their property.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
It stays on top?
Yeah.
That's huge because Zillow obviously has a lot of traffic.
Correct.
A lot of buyers on Zillow.
Yeah.
And this Zillow certified photography service. So they also, so are they doing the tours, or doing the 3D virtual tour filming?
It's a third-party vendor who's certified by Zillow.
Gotcha.
And they work with us to do it. And what we have now, and so, you know, people have seen the 3D tours, and there's the Matterport scans where you can actually walk backwards, forwards, in and out. Now we are one of the first companies now in San Diego to also offer 3D glasses. Seriously? So it's like literally like virtual reality looking at houses. So, I mean, and this is really great because, you know, I've worked with out-of-state buyers. I've worked with foreign buyers. Some of those people, they never get to actually physically see the property before they close escrow. Well, now I can give them the very next best thing.
Yeah, the full tour.
Yeah.
Basically, which is great. So this includes, what you're talking about, the 3D tour, the Matterport walkthrough. I think we have a sample that you provided us from what it looks like, the Matterport, once it's been constructed, and you can kind of see almost like a three-dimensional overview of
they
what
call it the dollhouse.
The dollhouse.
It looks, it's like looking at a dollhouse, and you can see the whole floor plan. And what's really cool about it too is it measures the walls, so people don't have to come with their little notepad and their measuring tape anymore, and they don't have to be like, well, will my furniture fit? I can tell you in about 5 seconds whether or not it's going to fit, and you have a full floor plan and everything for the house.
That's so incredible. So I mean, it makes sense to me that that would be something that would be helpful as far as if someone's looking online, which most people are doing, to be able to get a feel for the house. But you're saying that it actually will help you sell the home for more money.
Yes.
As well. And is that because it just gets more eyeballs because it's at the top of Zillow?
Well, the face of real estate is constantly changing. You know, back when our parents were buying houses, they used a map and an MLS printout, and that's how you figured it out. And then people started looking through the paper. Well, nowadays, over 90% of people, the first place they look is online. And for some people, it's the only place they're looking is online. And so the more information that you can put at their fingertips online, the better it is. And again, especially for people who are really busy, you know, 10, 15 photos, it doesn't tell you everything you need to know. It doesn't tell you how long the hallway is, or you can't navigate through the property, or sometimes not even every corner of the property gets photographed. But now that we have these 3D tours, they can literally go through the property, and there's really, basically what it does is it answers every question that they might have about the property, so that they know whether or not it's worth their time to physically go in or just go ahead and go to the next step and write an offer.
And so that probably helps the buyers filter out a lot of properties, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have buyers who have filtered out of their properties and that haven't seen as many properties, that'd be a lot less confusing for them. That was always the thing, you know, back in the day looking at houses. I remember buying a house in 2001, you know, and my agents would, you know, come by the office and give me a printout and say, hey, here's the ones, you know, look at the pictures that are on this black and white printout and see if there's any of them you want to go see. And you'd have to go to so many houses. It was so discouraging because you would go see 8 houses and go, you know, I didn't really like any of them.
And it was a waste of time.
It was a huge waste of time.
And that's, again, like, everybody's so busy. Everybody's got so much going on. The less time that we have to waste sitting in traffic and going and seeing properties that we're not interested in anyway, it just makes it easier, and it gets more people in the door who are already committed. And that's another thing, you know, there are some people who are really focused on doing open houses. Well, open houses, if you look at a data chart, it's one of the lowest tools for actually selling a house that exists, because I'd rather have 2 people walk in for exactly what I'm looking for than 100 who aren't, because their chances of buying the house are pretty slim. So again, it's almost like doing an open house online. I guess that's what I'd call it.
Interesting.
An online open house.
An online open house.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a whole, can you
I coined it.
trademark that real quick?
Thank you, everyone.
You need to trademark that immediately. And there's a service for that. I mean, that's essentially what it is. But people have been looking online at properties for a while now. You know, since Zillow came out, since Redfin came out, and then Realtor.com caught up, and now you have all these different places to go see MLS feeds online. Even Santa Clara even has their own website that you can go to. You can go directly to the MLS.
Yep.
The actual local MLS. But, you know, so that's always been there. Now it's just a matter of how does this keep getting refined so that the buyers can see more homes, spending less time doing.
Right.
Because let's be honest, if you can afford a home in San Diego, you working.
A lot.
Either you rich or you working. And so you might be working 10, 12 hours a day. You and your spouse might be doing that. So where are we going to find the time to buy a house, Elizabeth? We know it's a good idea to own real estate at the end of the day, at the end of our careers, to have a home that's ours that we actually own. But where are we going to find the time?
Exactly.
This is how you do it right here. Tremendous stuff. Elizabeth Story from Story Estates. Hey, here's one thing that's for sure. If you want a thorough real estate agent, if you're interested in experience with a very thorough real estate agent, no one, and I mean no one, I'll say this, no one is more thorough than Elizabeth Story. And I've had multiple people tell me this, who you've worked with, that we know, our mutual friends and whatnots. She is the most thorough real estate agent that anyone's ever seen. So if that's what you're looking for, she is the agent for you. Thank you so much for your time today, champ. Really appreciate it. And good luck on Sunday, as you'll be doing something very special, hosting Win This Listing for the first time. Of course, Win This Listing, winthislisting.com. If you don't know about that show, check it out. Elizabeth is amazing on there. Multiple times she's been on, and we have a premiere coming up soon, which I know you're really excited about. So lots of cool stuff on the horizons. Thank you so much for your time. That's it. That's it for this week's show. So that's all for Smarter San Diego TV. We make you as smart as we possibly can. Make sure you tune in next week, same time, same channel. We will see you.
It's all about problem solving in a creative way, taking a problem and stepping back and looking at it from different perspectives and figuring out some kind of creative way to accomplish something. And you know, I think that's the only way to ever do anything that's original that hasn't been done before. And I think all artists, that's the ultimate goal. You know, you want to be good and aesthetically pleasing, but more than anything, you want to be original. I think there are a lot of similarities between the way I approach art and surfing. You know, when you're surfing, you're looking for the right wave and reading the surface of the ocean and kind of paying attention to all these little elements that somebody else, you know, might not notice. Looking at a piece of wood is similar to looking at the ocean and trying to figure out where that wave should pop up.
And it is on.
Jamie O'Brien kicking for the bomb, looking for a 10.
Wow, this is going to be a good wave right here if we can come out of this one.
Come out. Oh, of course he comes out. Oh, and can you...
One thing that drew me to working with wood was just working with nature and having it dictate what I am able to do. You know, in a lot of ways, surfing had always held me back in my career because I, you know, just never had the ambition to want to work those extra hours instead of having those extra hours to surf. I chose to live in San Diego because of surfing rather than moving to, you know, New York or a big city to chase that high-paying job. But art has really given me my freedom where I'm allowed to work whenever I want to work, and I'm allowed to surf when I want to surf, and it's a lot harder. And I would say that I work, you know, twice as much or 3 times as much as I ever worked before, but it doesn't seem like work. It doesn't feel like work. It's just something that I do for myself, and it makes me feel like I'm living my life the way I want to, and I'm not wasting my time, you know, doing things where I feel like I'm not living my life until I get home from work. So, yeah, arts has allowed me to live life, the free life that I have always wanted to. It was a few years ago, and all my friends started getting married, and I was pretty broke at the time. I got the idea that I would start making paintings as wedding presents as a way to save money on these wedding gifts, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It just ended up being way more time-consuming and intensive than I had expected. I never really thought about being an artist before. I didn't go to school for it or anything like that. I actually went to school to be an attorney. I went to law school and then practiced law for 6 years after that. So, you know, a good decade of my life was devoted to that. I was stuck in it after I'd invested all that time in it, and, you know, I was really just kind of looking for a way out. That's what kind of gave me the push to do art, not just for myself, but for other people, and that was kind of the first turning point in my career. I wasn't scared yet. I had faith that everything would be fine. You would think it would have been when I decided to quit my job and do art full-time. The scariest moment was probably the 2nd or 3rd month into doing art full-time when I didn't have money to pay rent for the first time. Not knowing what was going to happen, worrying that I just made this big mistake quitting my job, and just decided to double down and keep going. And I didn't have any orders, but just kept making pieces and hoping that something would happen. And a day before rent was due, got an order and made rent. And since then, that